my morning pages are half done, and I'm here Googling elements of storytelling so that I can make my vlog better instead of just making my vlog and going through the tasks and doing the thing, right? So let me go get dressed. While I'm doing that, you can watch some clips that I took earlier this week. If it's your first time tuning in, my name's Sam. I am trying to get creatively unblocked, whatever that means, by doing the Artist Way, which is a 12-week program with guided prompts and activities and all the things. So week 5, recovering a sense of possibilities. So this chapter is really about limiting beliefs, scarcity versus abundance mindsets, and self-sabotage and the nature of being nice or a good person, right? And as somebody who I'm not unfamiliar with the scarcity versus abundance mindset, sometimes though when I read it, I do read it as though it comes from a place of privilege. Like, I do think that people who can truly appreciate an abundance mindset have a safety net to fall back on that perhaps they don't realize the rest of the world does not. However, I do think there are some good things about it. So let's keep talking about it. I'm gonna go to the thrift store because it's 1,000 degrees outside, and that's why I'm here, so I can go thrift a little, but we'll keep talking. A theme that came up a lot this week was productivity and usefulness, right? And the whole idea of a thrift store is that you are getting rid of things that are no longer useful to you, but hope that somebody else will find some use in them. So just a thought as I check out this dress. I didn't get it, but I didn't have a use for it. I think something that I'm realizing now that we are in chapter 5, but week 6 of me doing the Artist Way, is that one of my biggest challenges are the artist dates. And for me, there's like kind of two things about it. One, I'm definitely not planning and protecting like I should be, right? Like, I'm not actually setting up a time. I'm either like, oh, what if I just do this tonight and it'll be my artist date? Or sometimes I even do it retroactively, right? Like this week, I'm like looking at my week and I'm like, I don't have time for an artist date now that it's Thursday. But what if I count Monday where I went to the thrift store as my artist date? And every week I say to myself, like, I don't have time, or where am I going to fit that in? Or I'd rather hang out with friends than prioritize the artist date, or any other myriad of excuses. But I really think that the resistance actually comes from the fact that it's not productive. I own a video production company and we create content and do social media for clients, and I'm creative all day long. I've talked about this before in the vlog. I feel as though I am just trying to squeeze out every last little bit of creativity out of me. And it's funny because Julia actually says something pretty relevant this week in the book. What's the use? Replaces our feelings of joy and satisfaction. We may go through the actions of continuing our life. We may even continue to produce creatively, but we're leeching blood from ourselves. Vampirizing, I don't know how you say that. Vampirizing our soul. In short, we are caught on the treadmill. And it's funny because I have described owning a business as being on a treadmill for a long time, right? It feels as though you're running, sprinting as fast as you can, but you're never really getting anywhere. And that's how I felt in my journey. And if I look around, I can see the progress being made. But while you're doing it, while you're in it, it's hard to feel that way. And in this particular passage, Julia's talking about the virtue trap, right? This notion that we will go out of our way for others before we do it for ourselves. And truthfully, that's what the artist dates are, right? It's planning and protecting time for yourself, and even if that means you're not doing for others. And for me, that means planning and protecting an artist date, even if there's client work due, even if there's proposals due. And going back to the abundance mindset, I think this is where like it kind of trips me up, because I know that there is plenty of work out there, right? This abundance mindset, there's plenty of work out there. If I don't go get the work right now, there'll be more to come. But also, on the other hand, I need more money, and the only way that I'm going to make money is to do the things that make me money, right? To do the production, to do the work, to do the proposals, even if that's in sake of an artist date. And if I'm being very honest with myself, I think I've forgotten what it's like to create just for the sake of creativity, not for the sake of production or making money or acquiring status or whatever else that looks like. requires a little bit of selfishness. And I think that there's such like a negative connotation to that word. I have such a negative connotation to that word, and a visceral reaction is someone to be like, you're selfish. But it does require that, right? Like, and I think that's a big hurdle for me. One of the tasks this week was list 10 things you would do if they weren't too crazy. And truthfully, my mind was blank. There's actually quite a few like lists that Julia wants you to make in this week's chapter. And truthfully, I was struggling with all of them. But it was really interesting because I went to the grocery store after doing some of the lists or trying to like ideate on some of the lists. And while I was there in the grocery store, what popped in my mind was, what would I do if I weren't too afraid? And truthfully, I pulled out my notebook and started writing things down like right there in the middle of the aisle. I like pulled over so I could jot them down, because once I framed it like that, it started pouring out of me. Now, if you aren't familiar with The Artist's Way, or you haven't made it to week 5, in this chapter, she lists a lot of examples for these lists. And a lot of them are kind of silly, right? It's like, carry a sketchbook, go roller skating, sign up for belly dancing. And if we're being honest, those already sound like things that I would do. Those do not, I'm a very whimsical person, right? So I don't think I'm going to share my list of like, what would I do if I wasn't too afraid? But I do think that like my work is a little bit more real than doing these like fun things that I probably would already do, right? I'm not a hard person to convince to do things. I don't contain a lot of shame. I don't feel embarrassment over doing the silly things, right? And not to say that I shouldn't add more whimsy to my life. I think all of our lives need all of the whimsy we can get. But I think that maybe the work to unblock me is a little bit deeper than that. But I am thinking that that is like the sauce, right? I need to stop letting fear determine what's possible for me. I need to stop letting fear make decisions for me, right? Before I can even make a decision, it's already stopping me in my tracks. And I think it's like week 2, there is a line that Julia says, it's like, you need to make some leaps and know the net will appear. And I'm not saying I'm ready to like jump off a cliff or whatever, but maybe I do need to start stepping and knowing that the road is going to be there in front of me, right? So I don't know, maybe I still kind of am in week 2 in a way. It's funny because I've watched a few other vlogs. Sometimes week 5 is the point where they go back to week 1 because they've just kind of been going through the motions and not really experiencing and doing the work that they need to do. And I'm not going back to week 1, right? That's not going to happen, because if I do that, we're going to lose all momentum. But maybe I will go back to those chapters, do a little bit of a reread, and really start focusing on how I can stop my limiting beliefs in a way that will help me professionally, creatively, in getting my life together. I don't know. There's a lot to think about. Look at me. I'm standing in a field of flowers. How much whimsical can you get?